Nerdy overachievers, whizzes at math, law-abiding citizens, wealthy. We've all heard it. You might even call them compliments, but they aren't. They are stereotypes, and stereotypes are the root of racism. More specifically, this kind of stereotype directed towards Asians is known as the model minority myth, and it hurts. Here's why. December 7th, 1941.
A date which will live in infamy.
The attack on Pearl Harbor. The U.S. forced 120,000 Japanese Americans from their homes, locking them up in internment camps for nearly 3 years. It was scarring, demeaning, and it changed their psyche. They got out, but some of that hate remained, and they needed to be accepted.
What did they learn from that? They learned that if we don't want to get incarcerated again, we need to just be quiet, not make any noise, keep our heads down, try to raise our families, and do what we can just to fit in and not cause any attention to us.
Arnold Jin is a professor at the Center for Asian American Studies at the University of Texas at Austin, the only university in the southern U.S. one can get a degree in Asian American Studies.
What that did was they really became seen as, as was written about in New York Times Magazine, as the model minority. And it was a January 1966 article that was looking at the success of the Japanese Americans. And basically they're saying, Black and brown people, y'all have nothing to complain about because these groups made it. So why can't you?
But not all Asians are alike. So why do so many feel like they have to live up to this ideal?
Because to be the model minority means you're successful, people look up to you, it's a status, it's a position of envy.
And it can put a disabling pressure on young people.
But what I notice about these students is that all they do is study. And it blows my mind. I was like, Friday night, 11 p.m., and you're studying? Like, come on, go out with your friends, go do something. You live in a beautiful city.
This drive to be successful can be a part of many Asian American households.
For the ones that come from more immigrant families, there is a lot of pressure on them to be the primary earner for their household.
And it's not that easy to say no.
Now, you also have these ideas of filial piety. If the parent says something, they're expected to be obeyed. And it doesn't matter how old you are, right? Whether you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, if you don't obey them faithfully, then you are seen as disrespectful.
Perhaps there's one big reason the model minority myth is so troublesome.
Asian Americans' mental health is a subject that's hardly ever talked about in the news. Asian Americans are really suffering from a lot of mental health issues.